Ladies and gentlemen, today is April 17th, 2013, and if you're listening to the news at all, if you're following any of this, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the most dangerous time in American history since the Kennedy assassination. There are some situations going on right now that you need to know about, and there are people out there that are putting this together. I'm not the only one. But we're all coming to it at about the same time, thanks to some work by some people who've been scanning the videos of the Boston Marathon bombing. There are other issues as well. But the first thing that I want to say is this, and I'm just going to spill it out, okay? Right now, you are seeing something happen where there are elements of our government that are at odds with each other, and we're at a very dangerous crossroads, okay? There are factions in the government that are ready to try to seize power, and it's going to get very ugly, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't certain things going on now. But one of the things that have happened in the last few days, and not just the Boston thing, you'll notice the gold took a big dip. The Federal Reserve did that, attacked the gold by dropping a whole bunch of paper gold certificates, or however they do their trading, to lower the price, to make it look like gold. A bunch of gold had been dropped on the market when actually it hadn't. The purpose of that was, of course, to make gold not as attractive as an investment. Sorry, I haven't had much sleep lately. But there's more to it than that, and I want to point this out to you. Remember, Texas and some other states, Texas being the first one, Rick Perry, demanded their gold back from the Federal Reserve when it was at, $1,600, $1,800 an ounce. And now, of course, the price of gold has dropped. In other words, trying to make people not as interested in keeping it. But the point is that this was done not just as an act against individuals. This was an act done against state governments. Okay? Do you understand the significance of that? The Federal Reserve is a private entity pretending to be part of the federal government, but backed by the power of the federal government, telling the states, no, you're not going to get your gold back. Do you see what's happening here? Okay, that's the first thing. I wanted to bring that up because I didn't want to forget it. That is also part of what's going on with this Boston Marathon bombing thing. This was, in fact, a false flag. They denied that there was a bomb drill in process, but that we have witnesses now who said that they were told that there was a bomb drill in process in Boston, that there were loudspeaker messages to not be alarmed by the people carrying backpacks, etc. The university coach that was there is one of the examples of that, but there are even more now. The important thing to understand here is that if it hadn't been for people downloading their pictures to 4chan, we wouldn't have this information, okay? The government denied that there was a drill. A drill is always a cover-up for a false flag. The reason being that if the operatives get caught, if their patsy gets caught, they can say, well, it's just part of a drill. It's not for real. Well, now, with these pictures and with all of the evidence that we have, we know, in fact, not only was it a drill to cover the black op, but that our government, or at least rogue forces of it, or the shadow government, however, these are government operatives that pulled this thing off, that killed Americans, just like they have in so many other instances. Okay? This is a very critical time because there's another possibility to this Boston thing, and it goes back to what I was saying at the very beginning, that there are forces at odds with each other in the government. We saw that play out with Petraeus and the CIA. Okay? We saw it with the relief of general officers, about a dozen of them now, who have butted up against the White House. So there are things happening, and you have to, yes, I am a little stressed here because I realize the implications of this. I've seen these kinds of things happen in third world countries where there was a coup, okay? We're mounting up to that. There is a war that's going on inside our government, and it's going to spill out into the general population. They're trying to cover their tracks. When this information came out and the pictures of the operatives came out and the patsy and all of these other things, okay, the FBI and the police were just about ready to bring this right-wing suspect out and take him to a judge at the Boston courthouse. The media got a hold of it and stated that they had made an arrest, okay? But at the same time, our information came out on this black ops with the pictures and the videos and the operatives and all that. And the government said, oh my gosh, you know, they got us. So they shut down the information on the suspect. They turned around their story and said, no, they didn't arrest anybody. The Boston courthouse was closed because they said there was a danger there. The danger was they were going to get, you know, revealed. And so you've seen this backtrack today on, oh, we've got the suspect, now we don't. It was going to be a right-wing extremist helped by Al-Qaeda. That's exactly how this thing was going to play out. And they got caught in the middle of it. Now, the people that are bringing this information out are endangering their lives. Okay? Bottom line, people that are bringing this information out are putting their lives on the line to show you what's happening and how dangerous of a situation it is. Okay? The FBI has actually overstepped its authority because, well, Congress has helped it to do that. But where am I going with that? The entire FBI isn't to blame here or a part of it. There is a core operation, okay, that always shows up at these mass shootings, at bombings, etc., that have the requirement. It's a very small unit, but they have the requirement to cover up the government's tracks and to make these things look other than what they are. You know, no DARPA involved, no drugs, the lone wolf scenario, no type of black operation. They always, that's what they were going to do here. This Patsy, I'm sure, he's probably dead now. They probably hauled him out of that courthouse and probably took him out somewhere and, you know, put a bullet in his head and dumped him somewhere because they need to cover their tracks, and they'll do that. Okay, that's the kind of people we're working with here. So the bottom line is, at this point in time, the Boston Marathon bombing was a false flag conducted by elements of our government. Not everybody in the government's bad, but elements of our government who are seeking power or control over either each other or particularly us, okay? To lock down our people in a police state, all right? That's what this was all about. And hopefully, with us being able to blow this operation over, to uncover it, that it's at least going to slow them down. But make no mistake about it, that is the end game. All right? Okay? You liars and deceivers, you demons, killing Americans for your own purposes. Well, killing anybody. You know, the drone strikes where you kill 200 people to get one supposed operative. You guys are just bloodthirsty goons. We're going to spread this information out everywhere. People will see it. And if the Americans don't want to see it and this thing falls apart, American people, this is going to be your fault. It's your fault. If you're going to stay asleep and let these murderous criminals get away with this, then what I said about not worrying about saving the United States is going to hold true. This place just needs to be firebombed because we're not worth it. God help us.